Head coach Bobby Hurley is joining us. Thanks for the time, Coach. We'll go straight to questions from the media. Use the raise hand function if you have a question for Coach. Start off with Chris.
Bobby, first half defense, just the points in the paint that you guys gave up, a lot of baskets at the rim, kind of set the game in motion. What did you think happened there?
Well, I think our transition defense wasn't good. We lost Timmy Allen. They had a couple of, interior baskets with very, little resistance. So it was disappointing. I thought, even though we didn't start well, we did have, I think, a 14-11 lead and then just didn't play like the last 7 or 8 minutes of the half, with any efficiency, at either end of the court. So it's disappointing. I'll make a little statement and then you guys could finish. First of all, nothing really is going to dampen my happiness and perspective for Coach Burno right now. That game is after I just addressed the team, as far as I'm concerned, it is out of my mind and out of my system. So we could continue to talk about it, and we will, but I am so proud and I've been so fortunate to spend 6 great years with Coach Burno and his family, and what a job he's done for this program, and being such a significant part of again, 321 seasons and NCAA tournament appearances, and puts his heart and soul into his job. And, Northern Illinois is very blessed and very fortunate to have him leading their program. And I'm so proud of him. I'm so happy for him and his family. And he's going to be a major success at Northern Illinois.
Doug?
You and Rashawn go back a long way, just to keep it with him. How difficult will he be to replace as kind of your right-hand man?
Well, I mean, it is on a personal level, it is even more difficult because such a huge part of me, and there's like zero doubt anytime you have an opportunity to coach as a head coach that you seize that opportunity. And it's a league I'm very familiar with and had success in, and I know he's going to do an outstanding job. And so such a huge part of me is thrilled and excited for his next step. But at the same time, there's that personal connection that we have, and it's even way beyond basketball. So it's a friendship, and so to lose someone that I trust that way and that close with, it'll be a very, very significant loss for me personally. But we'll focus on obviously finding someone that will replace Rashawn after the season is concluded.
Ode?
Bobby, just want to ask you 2 quick player questions. First of all, Marcus Bagley, did he re-aggravate the ankle against Colorado? That's why he didn't play. And what's the status for next week? And second of all, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, we talked and kind of went all in on Thursday. And I thought we knew that there was a chance to get to the 5 seed. And then that was a big deal. And so we didn't get that done. It really didn't make sense to bring Marcus out here, and risk the possibility of re-injury. So we're going to reevaluate it. I thought he moved fairly well during the game. It did bother him a little bit. So we're just going to make sure we cross our T's and dot our I's and make sure we're not missing anything, and just get him checked on Monday. And then I should have another update, before we head to Vegas on Tuesday.
Another quick question about Jalen House. I know in such a tough season, he seems to be the bright spot, especially in the last few games. Can you talk about his effort today and also the last month or so?
Yeah, I mean, Jalen, again, I touched on this. I liked how he played and competed at the end of the Colorado game when they got the double-digit lead late in the second half. He kept competing, and I think he brought that same mindset to the game. There were very few guys that I think competed the way I think Coach Burno deserved for this team to compete today. And that was unfortunate because Coach Burno addressed the team, last night, and it was a very emotional moment. And he talked about what Arizona State has meant to him, what it's done for his family, the success that we've had, the players he's coached, and then the opportunity that has now been provided in his life to be a head coach, and thanking all the players and mentioning players that he's coached at Arizona State. Talked about his childhood and his upbringing and his family, and just it was he knocked it out of the park how he communicated with the group, and for the team to be as flat as we played was a failure to not honor him in the last regular season game the way we needed to. But Jalen House, I thought, to answer your question, did, provide good energy and worked hard on defense and hit a couple of shots out there.
A few more questions. Michelle.
Yeah, Coach, you played such good basketball the last 3 games coming into this road trip. Is there anything you can put your finger on as to maybe why such flat performances in these games?
Well, I mean, I thought the Colorado game was maybe better than the final score looked in terms of just being competitive, down 1 at the half at a tough place to play. And then, 4 points with 8 minutes or 9 minutes to go in that game. It's a winnable game. And, then we had issues there with rebounding and McKinley Wright was just having a game, but I didn't think that performance would carry into something like this. So, and again, it's senior day for Utah and they played well and, they had guys making plays out there. So I'm not going to just say that it was all us, but certainly we deserve to honor Coach Berno's last regular season game better than what we showed today.
Michael?
Yeah, Coach, you kind of touched on it saying moving on from this game. I mean, is this one of those games? I know coaches have different tactics, whether it's looking at some of the film for learning things or just kind of burn it and let the team just focus on the Pac-12 tournament coming up. How do you view that?
Well, I mean, it's going to be hard to see. I mean, you got to pick the pieces up and, it wasn't a fun locker room for these guys at halftime. We almost had no warm up, which is pretty unusual. So we said a lot of things and then, we spent a lot more time talking after. We'll see what our response will be this week in practice and, who's going to be available, will be another issue, for when we go. But, I've had games, fellas, as a player where, I lost by 25 in the ACC championship to North Carolina my sophomore year, and we never lost again. We won 6 in a row. So, it's a game. It's not a great performance, but we got to turn the page and get back to work on Monday.
Doug? Doug?
Bobby, the exchange with Timmy Allen there on the bench, can you explain what happened there?
I'm not going to go into any discussion on that. Just say it had nothing to do with me. And if you look at the television, whatever the TV had on it, then you could ask Timmy about that. But there were no words between myself and Timmy Allen.
Last question, Chris.
Yeah, Bobby, Remy Martin's been so great of late. Tonight, I think you took him out with two or so minutes into the game. He didn't score in the first half. I just was curious about his game or your conversations with him.
I mean, he hasn't been in a good place the last 2 games. So it's he hasn't been in a good rhythm. So we got to find a way to get him more connected to the game and get him going. So that'll be my job next couple of days. And he was on such a tear, when you had those 8 straight, 20-point games, and he's had two subpar, offensive games for him. But hey, man, he's carried us through the valley when things were not going great, and so he's entitled to not being at his best. But we'll try and get him right, heading to Vegas.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks, Coach.
Holland Woods is joining us. Thanks for the time, Holland.
No problem.
We'll go straight to questions. If you have a question for Holland, use the raise hand function, starting out with Michael.
Yeah, Holland, obviously it's a tough one. I was asking Coach, I mean, is this one of those games as a player where you just, when the coaches say like burn the film, don't even look at it, or are there learning moments that you take as you head into the Pac-12 tournament now?
A game like that, just at the end of the day, it's unacceptable. We hold ourselves to a higher standard, so something like that, we can't let that carry into next week.
Michelle?
Yeah, Holland, I know Thursday you said, hey, we think that this team can still kind of make a run in the Pac-12 tournament. And Has the performance the last two games kind of dampened the enthusiasm or the confidence level?
I don't think so. We've had one goal this entire year. We're not gonna let 2 games, and we've built up a little momentum, just kill that. So we just, like I said before, I don't want to be repetitive with you guys, but that was just unacceptable, and we'll be ready to bounce back on Wednesday.
Oh,
And I know the loss is still fresh, but can you put your finger on what went wrong for the team today and on Thursday after having a pretty good stretch? Even the losses in LA, I mean, it wasn't a bad performance by ASU. What do you think happened this last couple of games?
I mean, these last 2 games especially, I just felt like it seemed like I don't know what it was, just getting into running into the second half. So there was just something where we weren't there. We weren't connected with each other, and we just couldn't seem to fight back when the games got away from us. So, like I said again, it was just unacceptable, and we'll be ready to bounce back on Wednesday.
Doug?
Holland, Bobby just said that Coach Burno addressed the team last night, and it was kind of an emotional gathering. Could you just maybe give us a little insight on what Coach Burno told you guys last night?
He just told us some things that just really touched our hearts. Just some things we went through, and in his time being here, he just was able to talk to us. And he's someone that's always been super there for us. So just at the end of the day, we're super excited for him and what's next.
Any other questions for Holland? All right. Thanks, Holland.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Holland.
That's it for tonight, everyone.
Thank you.
Talk to you guys next week.